Jeff from Studio 41 Productions, and I am here this week with another Smite video. A bit later than usual, but with school kicking into gear, it's going to be a miracle for me to get these out weekly anyway, with the way things are looking. But we're looking at Ao Kuang today, a guy that I've always wanted to play, but there's a reason why I haven't. He is hard. So, I've been working on him recently, so let's take a look at the build I've got going right now. First off, we got Shoes of the Magi. It gives some magical penetration, magic power, mana, movement speed. Penetration is what you typically want. So, that's what we've got going here instead of the other cooldown reduction shoes. I'll speak more why you want penetration in a few minutes. Next, we've got Banecroft's Talon. You get 100 magical power, some magical life steal so you can get some mana back, and you get 1 additional magic power per % of your missing health, which is pretty nice because Ao Kuang, being a mage and being essentially a melee mage, takes a lot of damage, so it's a pretty nice passive for you. Next is Demonic Grip. We get magical power and attack speed, and basic attacks lower magical protection by 7%, an additional 5 points for 3 seconds. Stacks up to 3 times. This is a pretty nice item, but since Ao Kuang is built around getting basic attacks off, going with Hasten Fatalis here could be a better choice. I think it could really go either way, because Demonic Grip you can probably do more damage, but Hasten Fatalis you won't get slowed, so on your consecutive basic attacks you could pretty much be guaranteed to hit all of your basic attacks that you need to lay on the damage. So I really think this or Hasten Fatalis could go either way. I've got Demonic Grip in my build, but if you went with Hasten Fatalis it would probably be it could go either way. It would be a really good choice too. Next, we've got Rod of Tahuti really early. There's a good reason for that. It does a ton of damage. So that's why it's here. You'll see why. Next, we have Polynomicon. You got magical power, a lot of mana, some magical life steal, but we got this for the passive. Using an ability gives your next basic attack within the next 8 seconds plus 60% of your magical power as additional magic damage. That's a lot. That's like another, see, at level 20 you've got 588 magic power, plus the Rod of Tahuti, so it's a lot. It's going to probably be at least 300 or 400, so you're going to do a ton of damage. Last but not least, we have Obsidian Shard. Once you get this, you're pretty much a mortal lock to just destroy everything. You get another 33% magical penetration, which only is like another 3 or 4, so it's actually not that much, but it gives you a max out magical power, so it'll be a ton of extra magical power. And then actives, we've got Sprint and Beads, the usual. Sprint is pretty good for Ao Kuang for getting away or running someone down, so typically that's what you're going to want to go with, and probably level that up a bit to greater sprint also, if you're really doing a ton of work and getting the extra gold. To abilities, we've got some abilities to go over. His passive is King's Sword. His sword holds 3 charges and regenerates when out of combat. Each time he uses an ability, the charge, if available, will be consumed and increases the damage. It's only 5%, but it's still pretty nice. His first ability is Water Illusion. This is really good for escaping or chasing after someone and engaging, so this is a really good one for that. Next we have Dragon Call, which is the bread and butter of Ao Kuang and doing damage. he summons 6 dragons, and each basic attack he makes a dragon that attacks doing additional damage. And this is where this is where he can just get absolutely insane, because you get an additional 30% on top of 90, and when we're sitting at probably about 800 magical power after getting everything in the Rod of Tahuti bonus, 30% is probably like what, another almost 200, and then adding Polynomicon into that, doing another 60%. Just, you get it, it does a ton of damage. Next we have Wildstorm, which can do a good bit of damage early game with the build order we've got going, but late game it's considered, well, I guess I should say it's considered a basic attack and activates item effect, so it can crit, or actually I'm not sure if it can crit, so I'm not 100% sure on that, but it does a lot of damage, and it procs Dragon Call, because it is technically a basic attack, so you can essentially get one massive hit off that. Then last but not least, we have King of the Eastern Seas, which is Ao Kuang's Execute and his ultimate. Once whoever you're attacking gets below 30% of their health, you can execute them, and you heal for a percentage of your maximum health, and then you can also land and do damage and continue going on a tear with Wildstorm and Dragon Call and whatnot. So that's basically when you see an Ao Kuang to start going off, it usually starts with this and then continues with Dragon Call and Wildstorm. But let's go over the God Builder real quick. We start and have Wildstorm, and then Dragon Call, Water Illusion for the first 3. Then we got Wildstorm, the ultimate, Wildstorm, Dragon Call. Basically, Wildstorm early. That gets you, it does a lot of damage early. So that's a really good one to get. It's kind of in line with Thanatos and his Scythe Throw. That does a lot of damage early game. Obviously get his ultimate whenever you can. See in the middle here we could start piling up Dragon Calls, and basically you want to save Water Illusion for late. Just get Wildstorm and Dragon Call first. Those are going to be how you do a lot of damage. And finally with that, let's show some gameplay and really get into how you play this guy. Okay, so Ao Kuang, like I said, when I said he's hard to play, I mean he's really hard to play. He's a lot like Thanatos in that if you have no idea what you're doing, you are going to get destroyed. I've tried playing him a long while ago, and it was not pretty, but I decided to give him another shot. And also in the line of Thanatos, don't be surprised if you have like 15 kills and die 12 times. Ao Kuang is hard basically because he is a mage, which means he automatically has crappy defense, but he's also a melee mage. So there are a ton of times where you can take a lot of damage in a hurry. If you aren't on your game, you can really you will get destroyed. Even when you execute everything perfectly, if you get hit by a CC by like Nox or someone who will be your worst enemy, you're going to probably have a bad time. But Ao Kuang though, I wouldn't be lying, or I'd be lying if I didn't say he's one of the most rewarding gods to play. When you are executing him perfectly, he can be just a ton of fun. When you hit your combo right, you can just absolutely nuke almost anyone in the game. With that being said, his combo is basically Water Illusion, Dragon Call, Wildstorm. Now you can activate Dragon Call before going into Water Illusion, because by activating Dragon Call you can be brought out of your invis, so you can reveal yourself a little bit early. But you can activate Dragon Call beforehand. Just my only problem with that is that if something goes wrong, you just wasted it. So it can it can be a little bit of a double-edged sword activating it early. On one hand, you get the ultimate element of surprise, while on the other hand, if you screw something up or don't, someone else screws up or someone dies that wasn't supposed to, you can end up kind of wasting some mana since you might end up you might turn tail and run anyway. Um, Obviously, his execute is awesome. Use it whenever you can. Just be careful you don't get lined. I had that happen once or twice where I went for an execute, but somebody dove in front, and you just end up throwing him up in the air. So that can suck a little bit. On the other hand, though, it is a really good CC. So if you're chasing after someone and you have someone else with you and they're out of execute range and you're waiting on cooldowns or something, it's a really good CC. So that's basically all I've got. Ao Kuang, when you're playing him right and executing everything perfectly, he is an absolute blast to play. Probably one of the most fun gods in the game. Just be careful. You can really just get nuked hard if you are off your game. So thanks for watching.